Hey, my name is Fred Levi, and who am I? So I've been in the credit repair industry for a little over 22 years now, and what I found over my time of being in this industry is that there's a lot of fakes out there, right? So I wanted to kind of introduce myself and who I am to kind of bring my story to you guys, so that way you guys have an idea of who you're actually dealing with. You know, this is the man behind the name, and I'm going to kind of walk you through a journey of what it looks like to work with us, right? Now, what I've noticed over the past is that everybody who goes through the program, 95% come back. And the reason being is because they don't take the advice. They don't take the advice seriously enough, because they think once they go through the program, they see how the program works and that it does work, that they think that they can continually do the same things that they've always done. But that's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So we don't want you to just come through the program. So I've been working on a strategy, and I've found over the past few years, well, it's been in the making, right? But 3 years ago, I said, I'm going to switch up the game, right? I need to do something for my clients that nobody else is doing. And I still haven't found anybody doing this. So I wanted to switch my approach, right? Because at the end of the day, bad credit comes down to one concept, and that's not having a budget in place, right? If you tackle your finances and address that issue first, it's kind of like when you have a fire, you want to shoot at the base of the fire. You don't want to shoot up at top. You want to just shoot at the base of the fire, because that's where the underlying issue is at. That's where the problem lays, right? So you can talk to different credit repair companies out there, and I promise you, I haven't found one yet, because I do my research, I do my due diligence, because I want to make sure that the information out there that I'm putting out is going to be a step ahead of everybody else. Like, I'm playing chess, they're playing checkers, right? So I want to address the issue firsthand and let you know when you start the program that you're not going through a credit repair program, you're actually going through a financial transformation, right? Because I'm going to teach you and help educate you on the different aspects of where your issues lie, right? Because everybody's different, right? We all make different money, different amounts of money, right? We all have different mortgages or rent amounts, and our electricity bill is different. Like, nobody has the same thing. So everything that you do when you work with me is going to be catered to what you're going through, right? And one of the first things that we start you off with doing is going through a form, right, to go ahead and see where your finances lay, right? And this is because I want to help address the issue, right? We want to find where those problems lay. So that's the very first thing. Yes, we will teach you and help educate you on the credit process, how that works. While you work with us, we are going to help address those issues as well. But I don't want you to think of it as a credit repair program. I want you to think of it more as like, I'm your money coach. I'm your financial coach. You know, I am a financial consultant now, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to help educate you guys on the money aspect of your lives, right? Because I want to help address the issue long term. You know, we're not looking for a short-term gain. We're looking for the long term, because at the end of the day, what I want you to do is I want you to not focus on 6 months or 12 months down the line, but more about what your retirement looks like. Okay. So without you knowing how this actually works, it's going to be very difficult. That's why we're going to immerse yourselves into this process, right? We're not going to just say, hey, we're doing everything for you. No, because you're not going to learn that way. We're taking a hands-on approach, and by having that hands-on approach, you're going to learn differently, because you're going to actually be doing the work. You're going to have study material, right? This is a full-fledged. Let's get down and dirty. Let's get into the trenches, and let's get to work, right? Because at the end of the day, we want you to be debt-free. We want you to have some type of retirement built up, and most people don't do this, right? So that's what my focus is on. That's what differentiates myself from all the other credit repair companies out there, is because I'm taking a backwards approach, right? we're going to work on your credit. We're going to help you with that, but by educating you, right? We're going to do that for you, right? So when you come through the program and you work with me, you're going to be working with me directly. Now, I don't have all the time, so I can't take all the clients, right, that do want to come through the program. So I will be working with you guys one-on-one. I will sometimes have group plans where you can get in on a group for a little bit of a lower price point. But again, this is going to be very hands-on. If you guys aren't looking for the hands-on approach, if you want to go through a traditional credit repair company and hopefully get what they promise you, and hopefully they're not promising you anything, because at the end of the day, that's against the laws, against CROA, the Credit Repair Organizations Act. You can't make any promises. Anytime somebody makes a promise when they're dealing with credit repair, you might want to think a different strategy, different company, something like that. So again, this is my name. I put my name out on my brand because at the end of the day, when you go through the program, it's my name, right? And that's all I have. That's all I have. So I'm fighting for you guys. I want to work with you guys. I want to work and put you in a better position. So who is Fred Levi? I'm the man who's going to step in the trenches with you. I'm going to help walk you through the whole process, depending upon where your goals are, and try to help you reach those goals. I can't do everything for you because I'm the coach, right? I'm gonna relay the plays to you, but it's up to you. It's your job to go out and do the work, right? Just like when you watch a basketball game, the coach is telling the players what to do, right? But the coach still gets the equal credit. So same thing with me. I'm going to be showing you guys and teaching you guys and running the plays for you guys, calling those plays out, but I need you guys to run the plays, okay? So again, my name is Fred Levi. I'm here to work for you. I'm here to work with you, but I'm not here to do it all for you. I'm here to teach you, help educate you. So why did I change the strategy of how I wanted my company to run? The reason being is because credit repairs has such a bad rap because of all the people out there doing things illegally. I wanted to kind of branch myself away from that, and I wanted to kind of show you guys exactly what you guys need to do to help change your pattern, right? Because we're trying to do a pattern interrupt. We want to make sure that what we're doing is going to be efficient, it's going to be effective, right? Because if it's not efficient and it's not effective and you're not doing things the way that we're trying to coach you on how to do those things, you're not going to be in a position that you want to be in, right? I've had several hundred clients go through our program, and I would probably say when we're calling out our credit building blueprint, not everybody is doing those things, right? Not everybody is doing those. And when I'm recommending something for you to do, it's not just to say, hey, go spend this money. It's hey, go invest this money, because once you do that, it's going to help your credit profile, right? And sometimes that's what you need to do, is you need to build a credit profile. Sometimes people come to me and they want to get started with a credit repair program. When I look at their credit, they don't need credit repair. They just need a little bit of financial advice. I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, look, your credit cards are overutilized. If you pay them down to this amount, your scores are going to jump up, right? So that's what we're doing. We wanted to take a different approach from the typical credit repair companies. Hey, let me go ahead and mail out a letter for you. Although they can be effective, they can also not be effective, right? And if you're not going to go over and over, if you're just going to give up after a couple of rounds, credit repair is not going to be a good fit for you, no matter where you go, right? So I wanted to kind of bring this portion of the video to kind of explain to you guys that if you're dealing with a company, right, why are you dealing with them, right? You want to make sure that you're going to do your research, you're going to do your due diligence, you're going to do your homework to make sure that that company is going to be effective for you, right? Now, if you're dealing with a company and they say, hey, I want you to tell me what's wrong with this account, I don't believe, in my opinion, I don't believe that that's a good company for you to work with. And the reason being is because if you're working with that type of company, they're not educating you on the proper things, right? When you're working with me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at your credit report, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where all the errors are at, right? So when you're doing credit repair is just explaining the different laws that are involved with trying to get an item removed, right? So the law says that if there's something on your credit report, that it has to be verifiable, it has to be accurate, and it has to be reporting within the time limit based on the type of reporting that's being reported to the credit report. So by knowing these things, you want to look at the credit report and say, hey, after looking at my credit report, I see that you're reporting this information to 3 different credit bureaus, right? When I looked at the information, if it's going to be accurate, it has to be accurate on all 3. It can't be accurate on one and not the other 2, and vice versa, right? So what we're doing is we're actually challenging the information that's being reported to your credit report. And based on the challenge, they're going to respond. More than likely, they're going to verify that the information that they're reporting is in fact correct and accurate. So with that being said, now we have to go to the furnisher and request verification of what they're reporting. Okay, most of the times they're not going to give all the information needed for us to verify that what they're reporting is in fact accurate, right? Because we're going to ask for a lot of information. Okay, so a lot of companies don't go to the furnishers. They don't go to the collection agencies. They don't go to the original creditors. They're not exercising your rights according to the FACT Act, Section 312. So a lot of these things that aren't being done for you is doing you a disservice, right? So when you work with me, that's my job, right? That's my expertise. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I've trained dozens and dozens and dozens, well over 100 credit repair companies on how to effectively do credit repair, how to effectively run a credit repair company, right? So I've done that, right? That's in my rear view. Now I'm more on changing the relationship, right? I want to make sure that when you deal with me, that you're actually understanding exactly what's going on with your credit, right? Why did we get here? How did we get here, right? And we're not going to know these things until you actually have a budget in place. That's why when you deal with me, the first thing that we're going to push you through is starting to work on your budget, right? It doesn't have to be 100% correct the very first time, but as you continually move through that and continually work on getting that updated, your numbers are going to start falling in line. You're going to start seeing where you're falling short or where you have an excess of income, right? And the goal here is to try to have more income at the end of the month rather than more month at the end of the income, right? We want to make sure that you're not running out of money before, your next payday, right? We want to make sure that you have enough to pay your rent, your car payment, your insurance, food, electricity, all the household bills, all the things needed, getting your laundry done. There's a laundry list of things that you need to do, and most people don't take this into consideration, right? Especially when going out to buy a car. Like one of the programs that we deal with here for helping our clients that want to purchase a car is we're going to put them through our car buying workshop, right? Because there's certain things that you need to understand before you even go buy a car, and companies aren't doing that, right? What we're doing is we're going above and beyond, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to interrupt the industry, right? Not just the companies around me. I'm trying to interrupt the whole industry, like Turo did with the rent-a-car business, like Airbnb did with the hospitality business. That's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to interrupt and show you, hey, there's a different way. Let me show you my way. Let you make the educated decision, right? Because I'm going to show you, right? I'm going to show you better than I can tell you, because there's companies out there that once they start working on your credit, it's going to be hard for you to get back in contact with them. Nationwide companies, right? So these are the types of things that you need to look out for when you're dealing with trying to find a company that you want to work with, a company that's reputable, right? You want to look at not only just the reviews, but if you happen to know somebody who's gone through them, ask them about the things I'm talking about, right? Are they having you put together a budget? Are they making you pick your dispute reasons, right? Because when you pick your dispute reasons based on what they're offering, it doesn't have all the information that you need, right? Like a lot of times these companies will say, one of the reasons is the account doesn't belong to me. The account belongs to a family member with a similar name. Things like this. When you're doing credit repair, all you have to do is be honest, right? Because you're not supposed to lie. The company isn't supposed to lie for you, right? And that's why you go into a company to help you with your credit, is because they're supposed to have the expertise. But if they're having you choose the reason and not saying, hey, we're going to challenge the information on this reporting right here because of these things right here are not accurate, right? What we do is we provide you with an error detection report, and everything's going to be highlighted to show you that, hey, these are the things that are inaccurate that's on your credit report. And remember what when we go back to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Credit Reporting Act says if an item is on your credit report, it has to be reported accurately and be verifiable and report within the time statute based on whatever is being reported. So to give you an example, a collection can report on your credit report for 7 years, an inquiry for 2 years, right? So these are the types of things that you need to understand. I want to try to help educate you on that, right? Try to help you get to a better place to help you understand more of what's going on. So that way you have an understanding of what's going on, right? Because at the end of the day, again, I say it over and over, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to help put you in a better financial position. Not just for your credit, which is going to help you financially, but also just so that you don't go through the same situations that you've gone through when you first start with me. So hopefully that makes sense. Just wanted to kind of like break that part down for you to make sure that when you do choose a company that you're wanting to work with, that you are getting all the facts and not just partial, right? So ask them the difficult questions, make them answer you, right? Because at the end of the day, it's what's going to be best for you and your family, okay? So that being said, thanks again for listening to me, right? Because I want to help educate you, and that's what it is. What is a credit sweep? So a lot of times you might see things that they're going to do a credit sweep for you. If somebody's offering you a credit sweep, just make sure that you ask them exactly what that is. I'm going to go ahead and explain what a credit sweep is. Like you'll see a lot of times people are saying got everything deleted within so much time. What they're doing is filing a false affidavit saying that you're a victim of identity theft with the Federal Trade Commission, right, FTC. And when they do this, they're doing this under your name. So they're saying, hey, I, John Doe, verify that the information that I'm reporting on this document is in fact correct, right? But you can get in a lot of trouble. I've seen a lot of people getting in trouble behind this. And the reason being is because that's not actually true, right? If you actually have the account, how can you file a fraud affidavit on it, right? Now, there are certain things behind it. Sometimes they're filing false police reports. So these are things that you want to look out for when dealing with a company like that. I know there was glitches a couple years back where we were able to get a lot of things removed from the credit report just based on the glitches at the bureaus, right? So as time evolved, so did our challenges. So what we're doing is we're doing what's called factual disputing methodology, right? And basically what that is you're telling them exactly what you're disputing based on how they're reporting the credit report. But we also bring a measure that's called eOscar into the system when we're dealing with our disputes. So when you're dealing with things that they're saying that they're doing, we want to make sure that they're complying with what they're saying on their website. So that's why when I say we're challenging, we're not disputing, we're challenging the information because we want them to say, okay, based on your challenge, they call it a dispute, but they're going to verify the information with the furnisher, right? Who furnished the information. When we do that, now we're putting the ball on the furnisher's hands, right? Now the ball's in their court. So then we go to them and we say, hey, you verified this information. It's still incorrect from the 3 different bureaus. What are you doing to justify and rectify what you're actually reporting, right? So we're taking this full circle because we want to make sure that what we're doing is going to, in fact, benefit you, right? Now, a lot of times when you're dealing with a company, they're not going to get in depth with you as far as what they're actually doing, right? Again, our main focus is finance. We want to make sure that your finances are in order, that you're making enough money to make ends meet. We want to make sure that you have more money at the end of the month, right? Instead of more month at the end of the money. We want to make sure you're not running out. People with kids, I have kids myself. I mean, we understand that sometimes things get tight. You have to sometimes take money from here, put it over here, just to make sure that you're getting what you actually need, right? Sometimes, some people have harder times than others. I've been in that position, right? So I'm trying to do these things for you guys as a community as a whole, because I hate to see when a lot of my clients, they go to other companies and then things didn't work out, and then they come to me and they see the type of caliber of information that we're providing for them, right? I'm going to provide you with the actual letters that I use. I'm not just going to say, hey, I'm sending these letters out. I'm going to show you what it is, right? Because at the end of the day, why hide it from you, right? I mean, you're paying for a service. It's only right that you get the information, right? It's only right that, hey, I say what I'm going to do and I do what I'm going to say, right? I'm not going to tell you one thing and then go off and do another thing. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's honest, and I don't think it's a good thing or a good way to run your business, right? So when I'm going through these things with you guys, I'm going to help educate you guys, because I really want to get that point home. Like I can't express it more. At the end of the day, I want you guys to learn the process, right, behind the way I'm thinking, right? I hate to see people come back to the program, right, because I don't think it's fair for them. But at the end of the day, it's because they didn't have that financial know-how. Like, they didn't have the discipline. And discipline comes down to a lot, because there's so many people who spend so much money eating out, but they don't have the money to really afford to eat out all the time, right? They'll go spend money. Hey, you want to go eat? Take a bunch of people to go eat, but they don't really have those funds to actually afford that, right? You have to take care of number one, which is yourself, right, in order to feed your family. It's kind of like when you're in an airplane, and they say if the airplane goes down, the oxygen mask is going to fall from the ceiling. You put it on yourself first, and then help those around you. So that's kind of like what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to help you first, right? I want to help you first so you can help your family who is basing their information around you and what you're doing, right? So just some things to think about. I know it may be a little bit long-winded, but it's very important that I get the point across to make sure that you're able to help, that I'm able to help you understand exactly what I'm trying to go over with you guys. Okay. Why do I think you should have a trusted team? The reason why I think you should have a trusted team is because there's different areas when it comes to your finances that you should be involved with, but that you should also have expert advice from, right? So my core is credit and finances, right? And insurance, life insurance. So the reason why I'm focused on these areas is because of ways that it has hidden me, right, over the years, right? I first got into the credit industry behind a divorce, right? I went through some things financially that I didn't understand, right? And until I was able to understand that, that's when I really got myself really immersed and involved with that portion of education, right? The education that we don't really learn when we go through school, right? I haven't seen it in college. I haven't seen it in high school. And the information that's out there is crazy because there's a lot of misinformation that I hate that people go through that they don't really understand how it actually works. So that's why I wanted to jump in credit a long time ago, is because I was trying to get a car. I couldn't even get a car, right? I couldn't get a car. I couldn't even be on the loan because my credit was so bad. So I had to get somebody. I thought I had to get a cosigner. They said, no, you can't be on the loan at all, because if you're on the loan, you're going to get denied that loan, right? So certain things that you guys want to think about when you're dealing with something like that, you want to make sure that you have your professionals. Like, I'm not going to give you tax advice because I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax advisor. So I can't do that, right? But I do have a license for life insurance. So I can give you that type of advice, right? If you're in a state that I'm not licensed in, then I can refer you to somebody who has just enough, just as much education and license in that state that I do, right? So the reason why I try to bring up a financial team, and I think that it's a must to have in your life, is because each aspect of your financial life has several factors, right? You have the taxes, you have insurance, right? You have auto insurance, you have mortgage insurance, homeowners insurance, rental insurance. You have all these types of insurances that you should deal with, right? There's so many things. There's a list of things that you need, right? And if you don't have these people on deck, on hand, to help you with what you need, then you're going to have and maybe put in a bad situation, right? I'm not going to give you that type of information if I'm not licensed in it, or if I'm not crafted in it. I don't have the skills to tell you. So that's why if I'm not that person for you, we're going to teach you how to go out and find your trusted team, because a trusted team is what you need. So just wanted to let you know that that's one of the things that we're going to talk about when you work with me, is how to build a trusted team, right? Who are the members of that trusted team, and why do you need them? So we'll talk about those things. We'll get into those things. Not going to really get too much further into it here, because this is not the time or place, but just something for you to be aware of, something you to know about. So we wanted to put that out for you. So how do you do your due diligence? The first thing you want to do is you don't want to just focus on one person, right? Just like if you're going to get some work done to your home, you want to get a few different estimates. Same thing goes when you're dealing with a credit repair company. You want to make sure that you're speaking with different people, asking what they do, asking how they can help you, asking them what differentiates them from every other company out there. Ask them how they deal with your finances. Ask them these tough questions, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're doing the legwork, right, to find out exactly who's going to help benefit you the most, right? I'm not going to go buy a 30-year-old car to get me from point A to point B, not knowing what that car is going to do for me. Like, one, it's going to probably waste a lot of gas, probably has leaks on the car from oil and coolant and what have you, right? I'm gonna do my due diligence, right? Even like when looking for a car, when I go look for a car, I don't just go to one. I'm gonna go to different dealerships, right? To figure out what kind of car I want. Same thing with you guys as far as what I'm trying to tell you now. Don't just talk to one person. Talk to multiple companies, right? Ask them how they're going to help you, right? Ask them what type of guarantees they could give you, right? Because if they give you a guarantee, you don't want to work with that company. It's against the law to do that, unless they're saying something like, I guarantee that I'm gonna work the hardest for you. I guarantee I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna pick up my phone. If I don't, I'll call you back, text you, whatever the case is. Those are different, right? But if they're promising any type of results, they cannot do that, right? Sometimes you'll deal with a company and they say, hey, give me $1,500. We're going to go ahead and work on your credit. You can't charge upfront fees. So that's something also to be aware of, right? Now, they can't ask for an enrollment fee. They can't ask for monthly payments, but they have to do the work prior to charging you for the work, right? So those, some things to look for, right? what type of education are they going to give you, right? Do they have any type of blueprints or roadmaps for you to follow as you're going through the program? Do they help you with your budgeting, right? Do they help you with a debt strategy payoff, right? Like how are they going to help you with that? Do they have anything that they could offer as far as like, sometimes people want to pay their homes off early, but they don't really know how. The only thing they know how to do is to pay an additional payment every year, right? To help reduce the amount of years from 30 down to 22, right? Things like this, it can help you a little bit. But you want to ask these questions because you want to make sure that if you're working with them, that they're going to actually help you do what you need to do. They're going to help you with your goals and what you're trying to do, right, for you and your family. So these are just some things to think about. Obviously, there's a whole lot more. If it's something that you want to talk about, I'm going to leave my contact information. Reach out to me, and let's talk. Let's get a discussion going. I'm going to have videos like this coming out. So if it's something that you feel that will benefit you and your family, if you have questions that you want me to discuss openly, or I could even do a live with you. If you have family members that are interested, and just learning a little bit more about what it is that I do as far as my services and how I may be able to help them, because I can't help everybody. I can't work with everybody. I'm trying to design a system, right, where I can help work with those on a one-on-one basis who, obviously is going to be more expensive. But then I'm also trying to implement something more of a group strategy where I can address members of the group, right? And it may be small, but it will grow initially. So, we'll probably won't take more than 25 people at a time when we're doing a group strategy. It's a couple months long. We will talk about different items and discuss those things and work on those things and have homework and study times that will go over that information. So if it's something that you feel people will benefit from, share the video. If you like the information that I provided, I'd love you to give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment and let me know exactly how you feel about what it is that I talked about here today, right? And with that being said, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch the video. I hope it meant something to you. It does mean something to me. The whole reason why I got into the industry was to help those who couldn't help themselves because they didn't, they didn't know how to go about learning the information. But now I wanted to put something in place to help you guys and guide you guys to get to where you want it to be through your finances, right? Because at the end of the day, finances are going to take you everywhere in life. With good credit, that's just going to be icing on the cake, because now instead of paying higher interest rates, you'll have lower interest rates to help you qualify for better rates, which means lower payments, which means more money in your pocket rather than giving that money to the banks. So again, thank you for watching the video. Appreciate you. You guys have a good one.